If you've been trying really hard to ignore your dog, turning your back on them when they're doing naughty things, trying not to give them any attention, and it's still not working, this could be the reason why. Hi, I'm Jacob from Positively Pawsome. I'm a dog trainer and behaviourist, and on here we talk about training tips, behaviour advice, and enrichment ideas for your dog. Today we are talking about extinction. Extinction is this idea of the dog continually doing a behaviour because they have a history of reinforcement, and us trying to change that understanding that they think that they have to the point that it becomes extinct. I'll give you an example of extinction in day-to-day life. You walk up to a vending machine, you take your pound coin, you put it into the vending machine, the machine spits it back out again. Why do you not give up and go away? Or why do you not give up and change coins straight away? Why do you always try the coin a second time? That's because sometimes the second time you put the coin in works, and that's history tells you there's been a history of reinforcement that trying to put the coin in again for a second time sometimes works. And it's exactly the same when we're looking at the behaviour in the dog. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes they get reinforcement, and that actually can make behaviour more likely to happen, not less likely to happen. Now for this one, I'm going to draw you a picture. So I'm going to take you back to school a little bit, and we're going to draw you a graph. You might remember these ones, okay? Graph from when you were at school. Now this one is time, and this one is intensity of behaviour, okay? Now generally what happens is, when we take a behaviour, let's think of something like jumping up, and we try and ignore the dog to the best that we can. What normally happens is the behaviour gets worse before it gets better. It often gets worse, it gets worse, it gets worse, until the point where the dog realises that it probably is not going to work and they give up, okay? And that is the foundation idea of extinction. That's really what we want to happen. The problem why this doesn't work, and the problem why a lot of people find that it's not working, is they try really hard to get to this point just before the dog gives up. But of course the intensity of behaviour at this point is quite high, and generally because we're human and we struggle with not giving anything to the dog, sometimes we accidentally reinforce the dog in some way. Maybe what we do is we say no, get down. Maybe someone else gives them a fuss which is out of our control. Maybe the dog helps themselves to some food that's on the side. Anything like that can act as reinforcement, and what happens is we're almost setting ourselves a brand new baseline, okay? So the dog understands that, well, actually, if I only have to go to there in order to get some reinforcement. So then what we do is we try really hard, and we're going to try again, and we're going to ignore the dog, we're going to ignore the dog, we're going to ignore the dog, until the point that maybe it would drop off. Except this time, because the behaviour is even more intense, along the way, we say no, the dog helps themselves to some food, or maybe someone gives them some fuss. And again, we set a brand new baseline. And we try again to do the exact same thing until we set a brand new baseline. You can see how all of this goes on, and we end up with a behaviour that's way more intense than it ever needed to be. But because we've reinforced it along the way, on purpose or by accident, the dog has built up a really strong level of intensity before extinction occurs. So it's really important that you hold strong at the beginning, try and control situations as much as you can do, and don't allow that reinforcement to happen. That will encourage extinction to occur, and hopefully the dog is going to be on their way to never seeing that behaviour again.